The greatest regret of my life was not walking away from that wedding in New York 3 years ago. If I had left that day, maybe everything that followed would never have happened. It wasn't until I lost my child and my mother that I finally understood what true despair meant. In the 3rd year of my marriage, I finally got pregnant. The day I received the report at a private hospital in Manhattan, my hands were shaking so badly I could barely stand. The first person I wanted to tell was my husband, Ethan Walker, but at the end of the hallway, I saw him holding a newborn baby. My mind went blank, yet my body moved on its own, following him. The hospital room door was half open. Laughter spilled out sharp, celebratory. Members of the Walker family surrounded the bed like they were attending a party. They admired the baby with pride and excitement. He looks exactly like Ethan. Now that's real Walker blood. He'll be Ivy League material for sure. Then someone lowered their voice, not bothering to hide the disdain. Some people marry into the family, but blood doesn't change. Background is background. Their kids will never measure up. I stood at the doorway like a complete outsider. I could barely breathe. The woman in the bed was Olivia Carter. She had just given birth, yet she was surrounded like the true mistress of the house. Ethan's mother held her hand gently. Now that the baby is here, it's time you two were married. The room fell quiet. Ethan stood there, expression cold. I'm not remarried, he said. My wife is Emily. Every gaze turned subtle, complicated. Then Olivia smiled, calm, elegant, prepared. The contract was clear, she said softly. Child only, no father involved. Ethan is just the genetic contributor. The air shifted something ambiguous, almost intimate. Someone tried to smooth things over. Ethan never got over you. Everyone knows what this marriage really is. He only married Emily out of spite. Another voice added with a laugh. I heard he's been secretly giving her birth control all these years. Cold flooded my body from head to toe. So it wasn't that I couldn't get pregnant. He had simply never let me. The report slipped from my hand and hit the floor. A soft sound, but loud enough. Every head turned. Olivia looked at me, openly assessing. Don't misunderstand, she said lightly. I'm just borrowing the genes. I won't take your marriage. I smiled. Choosing a married man as your donor, I said, looking at her. That's your idea of class? Ethan frowned and walked toward me, reaching out. I raised my hand and slapped him. The room froze. The next second, Olivia lunged forward and shoved me hard. My knees slammed against the floor. Pain exploded through me. Ethan immediately stepped in front of her. His voice was ice. You can make a scene, he said, but don't touch her. That was the moment I understood in his eyes I wasn't even a person. Security dragged me back home. Like trash, I was thrown at the entrance of the villa. That night, I knelt before the Walker patriarch. I'll agree to the divorce, I said. I want 2 things. First, continue paying for my mother's treatment in Boston. Second, give me a new identity so I can leave. He was silent for a long time, then he nodded. I thought things would slowly come to an end. I was wrong. That very night, Ethan brought Olivia into our master bedroom. He stood at the door and said to me, The child carries Walker blood. You'll raise him. Legally, he'll be yours. Treat him as your own. I didn't argue, because I needed to survive long enough to leave. From that day on, I slept on the floor of the master bedroom, like a servant. Worse than one, the water temperature had to be exact. The formula measurements couldn't be off by even a fraction. If the baby cried, I knelt on the floor and soothed him until morning. After days without sleep, my body finally gave out. One early morning, I leaned against the wall and closed my eyes just for a moment. When I woke up, the baby's face was blue. His breathing faint. Doctors managed to save him. But everyone blamed me. Ethan didn't listen to a single explanation. He dragged me to the backyard pool, ordered people to hold me down. Ice cold water flooded my mouth and nose, once, twice, 3 times. I was almost drowned alive. This is punishment, he said, for failing your responsibility. That was when a sharp pain tore through my abdomen. Like something ripping apart inside me, blood ran down my legs. I lost my child. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. The doctor told me it would be very difficult for me to get pregnant again, but that wasn't the worst part. When I returned home, I saw my mother at the villa entrance, still in her hospital gown, kneeling on the steps. Her hands were red from the cold as she scrubbed the ground again and again. Olivia sat nearby, watching like it was entertainment. I ran over, my voice shaking. Why is my mom here? She smiled. It's an honor for her to serve the Walker family. In that moment, I truly wanted to kill her. But before I could touch her, Ethan stopped me. So I endured. I helped my mother back to her room and told her, just wait a little longer. We'll leave soon. She nodded, smiling gently. That night, she died in the backyard pool. The death certificate said, accidental drowning. But she could barely walk. How could she have fallen in? I wanted to investigate. Ethan warned me directly. If you keep this up, you won't even see her body. I didn't back down. So he sent me to a psychiatric facility. There was no night there. The lights were always on. I was restrained, injected, stripped of all dignity until I broke. Until I said it myself, I won't investigate anymore. Only then did he take me out. But when I returned, my mother had already been cremated. The funeral was over. I knelt in front of her photo and said only one sentence, I'm sorry. The day I left, I received the divorce papers, a new identity, and a ticket to Los Angeles. I didn't look back as the plane took off. I snapped my SIM card in half and threw it away. From that moment on, Emily Walker no longer existed in this world. I carried my scars to a city where no one knew me. I thought everything was finally over, but later I realized that was only the beginning of another nightmare.